kill your enemies, they win.
When? So we just put them in our cabinet instead.
I think he's a fundamental misunderstanding of how war works.
That guy's a jackass.
Mr. Trudeau. If you kill your enemies, they win. Okay. What happens if they rape your women and hear the lamentation of your villagers?
Sounds like they win.
That's one for you, sound logicist. I don't know if that's a word, logicist.
That's not a word.
It's definitely not a word.
Not a word. I'll have to retract that
Logician?
later.
There needs to be a noun for someone who uses logic. Well, think about this. You're in the UK right now, right? It's England. You've been tolerant and you've been open-armed and all that gay stuff. And all of a sudden, you have neighborhoods, no-go zones, which the media claimed didn't exist. There are over 900, by the way. No-go zones where cops don't even show up. People are beating the hell out of their women. Women who go in these no-go zones are at risk. We had Lauren Southern on. We've had Tony Bugle on. People who've talked about Western women, Western European women who go into these no-go zones are threatened. You don't even have to be an Islamic woman anymore. People don't feel safe in their own neighborhoods. These are people who don't want to become a part of the British way of life. They don't want to become a part of the German way of life. Mm-hmm. And these people they love their socialized health care. They love all the free stuff. They're where Bernie Sanders wants us to be. But for some reason on this issue, they are so much further to the right than Americans that we can't even find them on a map.
No. It just baffles people. I watch it on Twitter and stuff. It just people just can't even. They're so confused.
Well, police are on record saying that there was a connection.
Yeah.
Sweden, now the rape capital of the West.
Yep.
Sweden. When you think Sweden, you used to think bikini team. Now you think violent rape.
Lots of rape.
Lots of rape. You think your bed folds into a bookcase and being raped. That's what Sweden is known for. Some hockey players, some cheap furniture that lasts you about a year.
Yeah. 8 months. 8 months.
And harm to orify.
Yeah. It's just a bloodbath.
That is the proper plural of orifice.
Oh, is it?
It's a different term for rape. I felt like we said raped too much.
Rape?
You do say rape a lot on this show.
Well, you have to when you're discussing Islam. It's a part of their culture. We're honoring it. So we even talked about this. Remember in Cologne, Germany, there were a bunch of attacks. And I think this is a big reason the Americans aren't quite up to speed because the media deliberately, and this is an act of media malpractice. It's kind of annoying when they do it with Donald Trump and say, hey, Donald Trump said something on Twitter that he didn't say. It's mildly annoying. When it comes to actual rape statistics, when it comes to actual victims of sexual assault, it's media malpractice. And they've done this many times. They've claimed there was sexual assault when there was no proof. People like Lena Dunham, people like Amy Schumer. You look at the Mattress Girl, Columbia University, Rolling Stone, UVA, right? They falsely claimed that, and then they falsely cover up when actual incidents of rape occur. Cologne, Germany, this is where there were countless sexual assaults at a New Year's Eve fest. This was in 2015, going on 2016. This was not the one where Don Lemon was drunk. This is the one before that.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, it was the other one. Well, to be fair, Don Lemon's always drunk on New Year's Eve.
He is always drunk on New Year's Eve.
He just isn't always put on a network. Though I hope he's put on every single network, especially here forward. I'm gonna listen.
I would actually tune in.
CNN.
Even if Barack Hussein was there.
Going to have a relationship. I'm looking at you, Anderson. I couldn't believe that they allowed Don Lemon on the air. So we wrote about this at Louder with Crowder, the Cologne attacks in Germany, and the police have since gone on record saying there was a direct correlation. Police were then handing out pamphlets to try and solve this issue. Please don't rape. They were handing out anti-rape pamphlets to Muslim refugees. So we wrote about it. Snopes. Snopes, by the way, one of the sites that Facebook will use as the backbone in determining fake news, if they still want to use fake news as a term after the BuzzFeed debacle, said that our article was mostly false. First off, our article was an opinion article on the absurdity of passing out please don't rape pamphlets, okay?
Yeah.
So they label it mostly false. But we know better, Snopes. What they labeled false was that these pamphlets were not printed in 2015 for the Cologne, Germany rape attacks. They were printed for Islamic refugees in 2013. They just happened to be passed out in 2015 en masse because, well, there was a lot of rape, so one for Snopes.
One for Snopes.
That's how they see this. We didn't say that these came hot off the press for the 2015 rape, mass rape in Cologne. We said, isn't it absurd that a civilized, a Western European country, for any reason, let alone having to print them by volume at Kinko's, has to pass out pamphlets telling people how to not rape their fellow human beings? That was the point of our article. Now, Snopes can say, Snopes labeled it fake news. Therefore, Facebook could label our story fake news. There's nothing about it that was fake. What's fake is Snopes fact-checking. And if you read the original article, it was just talking about how silly, how ridiculous it was. I can't believe we've gone this far. It wasn't breaking news. They just freshly printed no rape pamphlets in Germany. It was just, can you believe that's the South because these people are getting raped in record numbers? And Snopes goes, hold on a second. Those were printed in 2013. It couldn't be less relevant. Just like a report with no corroboration on Donald Trump and Russian hookers pissing on the linoleum floor. And these are the people who've been trusting for 10 years.
It was carpet.
You want to know what's? I guarantee you, in that gay party on Mike Pence's backyard, you have producers for CNN.
Oh,
and
no
ABC
doubt.
and NBC. Matter of fact, I know for a fact.
I've seen them at hotels. Party animals.
I know for a fact a guy who works at ABC who would be at those parties because I've seen him at those parties before. I was watching on air one time.
Why were you at those parties?
Is that Jay? His name was not Jay. I remember sitting there going, is that Jay? Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I wasn't even surprised. These are the people. They have much more in common with those naked dancers and the Snopes folks who will tell you that, listen, let's get off the rape thing. These pamphlets, they raped, but the pamphlets weren't printed. The people in the media have much more in common with them, and they try to get together and congregate and say, hey, let's decide on what's fake news. And now it came back. It absolutely bit them in the ass, and they don't know what to do.
I think Snopes is more for like email forwards and like things your grandma posts on Facebook. Yeah. It's not for investigating real journalism.
It's a place where you post pictures of prairie dogs' testicles. Betty White was baited in.
That's
a good say.
Yeah, Betty White. Here's one thing. Since we're going to have some good news, and we'll get to Clint Howard. Betty White, I love this. Did you see this with Katie Couric?
First of all, the good news is she's alive. She's trans
alive.
all the time.
Yeah.
And she's still alive every time.
There are no Betty Whites in third world countries.
I'm waiting for Betty White to see Betty White's trending. Think Betty White died and subsequently die from a heart attack at the shock.
Well, that's what you call purgatory.
Yeah. This is perpetual Betty White #death.
Well, no, that's not purgatory. At that point, you're talking about hell. So you're getting you're not even getting your religions properly.
Theology.
Just mixing some reincarnation in there, and you'll have offended an entire half the globe. Betty White was baited by Katie Couric. Katie Couric tried to bait her, which I'm amazed that Katie Couric will show her face after the Carly Fiorina. The absolute thrashing at the hands of Carly Fiorina with Katie Couric. That was an example of a bubbly, nice enough woman who could read prompter versus a razor-sharp woman who'd actually accomplished a multitude of goals in life. Katie Couric, Carly Fiorina. If you haven't seen it, go Google it. Oh my gosh, I use it to rock myself to sleep every night when my wife's not here. I play it and I get very comfortable with myself. Katie Couric tried to bait Betty White into trashing Donald Trump. And God bless Betty White. This is what went down.
It's hard for some people to be positive right now because there's so much negativity from the highest office in the land, or soon to be, to everybody and their brother putting things out on social media.